Hi, I'm David Gantt, your Buncombe County Commission Chair. I'd like to talk to you about the June 5, 2012 meeting. Of course, the biggest topic of all for the whole year was taken up, and we had a public hearing on our budget. Our budget is lean. It's about a 1% increase from last year. It keeps the schools at the same funding, which is very important even in a bad budget year, a tough budget year, because we got to support our schools. We got to support our teachers. We got to keep the progress we have going on, particularly in cuts of state and federal money to the schools. There were several motions that we took up after in conjunction with the budget. One of them was concerning the salaries of commissioners. There was a 3-2 vote. I was on the negative of this to keep things the way they are until the next election. And let the new board, which of course even if the incumbents that are running, there'll be 4 new members of a 7-member board regardless of the outcome, at least 4. There could be more. There could be 7 new people for all we know. But the majority of the board felt that it was, let's just keep things the way they are and let the new board set their own salary. I understand that and I respect that. I disagree because I think that if we should be somewhat proportionate with our size. As you might remember, we cut the commissioner's salary about a year and a half ago by a third, and that was fair. We were the highest paid in the state, and I think, frankly, I didn't know that. I think that's inappropriate for the 8th largest or 9th largest county, somewhere 8 or 9, and I think we should be somewhere in that range. It doesn't have to be the exact number, but I don't think we should be paid more than Mecklenburg or Wake County commissioners, which have a much larger county and much different issues because it's a more urban area. So I think that that's appropriate. That's the reason I voted against it. I will, if I'm reelected, look at that again, of course, when we set our salaries. And I think commissioners should be paid a reasonable amount. It shouldn't be a dream job for somebody, and someone that has the means to make more money shouldn't be penalized. They should make enough to reimburse them for some of their time. It is a public service. It's taxpayer money, so there's always a tough balance there. But I would have favored a little bit of a reduction, and that didn't happen, and that will not be in the budget this year. The other item was a proposal to change the waiting time that Buncombe County employees get for health insurance. Right now it's 6 months. I think that's clearly too long. The current budget as proposed by County Manager Wanda Green was to cut it to 3 months. There was a proposal to cut it to 1 month that was not accepted by a majority of the board. I agreed with that majority because I felt 1 month probably isn't long enough to know if an employee is going to work out. I think 3 months is probably a good compromise. That's 90 days before people get on a very good, very generous health insurance program. One of the perks that we give employees, and I think it's an important perk, is to have a great health insurance plan. I continue to think longevity is a good thing. There are 2 ways you can compensate people. Well, there are actually 3 ways. You can give them a raise. You can... and that could be consumer price index, it could be a direct raise. You can go to merit pay, which lets one individual decide the worth and the value of someone's services and whether it's good or bad. Or you can do longevity. I continue to like longevity, which is the way the state system does it and most of the other counties in North Carolina, because it's objective. If you are continue to be an employee for a period of time, you can count on getting money. Reasonable minds can differ whether merit or longevity is a better way to compensate government workers. I like to keep things objective because there may be some rub between a supervisor and an employee, and I just don't want to leave that in 1 or 2 people's hands. I think to do it objective is a better way. But that'll be another discussion. On June the 19th, we're going to be adopting the budget, and that'll be, I think, another area that we'll be talking about. We appreciate the public comment. We had a rather lengthy period there, and that's what it's all about, hearing from the public, deciding the final budget, what it's going to look like. The other matter that we had was approval of a rural operating assistance program This is a program that basically gives money to transport elderly, disabled, and folks that have difficulty getting around. It's not just for elderly and disabled folks, but they're the ones that are, of course, the ones that use it the most. We're going to ask, and we expect to receive $330,000 to fund programs like Mountain Mobility and this various related groups. And this is a good thing. We've got to make sure that everybody has access. I don't know that we need to run a bus service to all parts of the 650 square miles of Buncombe County, but I think the city does a good job, and the other 5 cities within Buncombe County do a good job of getting people around in those particular urban areas. But I think we need something to cover the gap for folks that live outside that just don't have access to transportation, and this is a great thing that we do with that. The other item of business we took up was a request by Waste Pro, which is the franchisee for our garbage pickup outside the municipalities. Waste Pro entered into a contract with us about 2 years ago, and they made a commitment to pick up all the trash of people who paid them. And one of the problems we have is half the people use their service and half don't. They came in and asked for an increase. Part of their rationale was that we need an increase because the gas is going up, the cost of getting around is going up, and they made the point that a lot of folks have an excessive. They're basically taking their neighbor's trash that aren't paying for it and putting it on their property. The number was the national average of pickup is 39 pounds, and Buncombe County is close to 50 pounds. So the feeling was that we're only picking up half of the county residents. Only half of them are paying us, but we're picking up a lot more of the trash than we should. Costs are higher, and we just can't continue to go on. This was a 3-2 vote also. I was in the minority on this one also because my thinking was I did not approve any kind of increase because I felt that they'd made a deal. And everyone's hurting when gas goes up. And I just didn't think it was fair for them to get an increase and the people in Buncombe County to have to pay for that. The Commissioner Peterson also felt the same way I did, and she made the point that if you're worried about people putting trash, someone else's trash in your pile and not paying for it, they should try to punish people for doing that before they punished everybody for some faultless people, inconsiderate people, and people that are breaking the rules, actions. So I think that was the thinking there. We'll have our public hearing on, we'll have another public hearing on that issue, Waste Pro, also on June 19th, as well as our final discussion of the 2012-2013 budget. Those are the main items we worked on. I'm David Gantt, your Buncombe County Commission Chair, and thanks for listening, and please call me if you have any questions. Thanks.